Hi guys, how's it going? So just before this video starts and I tell you all about my fears, I just wanted to let you know there is a huge announcement at the end of this video which is really exciting, and if you are like me and had all those questions, all those fears, then wait to the end and you'll see what's in store for you. This is Mike, this is Jerry. Say hello guys. I'm gonna crash. Welcome aboard the White Swan, which is the craft of the day. We are in Lumpini Park in Bangkok. I mean me and you. Ali is not here. Today I'm going to talk to you about travel fears and sort of my travel fears when I first started traveling, and maybe your travel fears right now if you're thinking about going traveling. So I've got a list of 10 travel fears which I'm going to talk to you about and basically tell you sort of how to overcome them and sort of not be worried about them really. So let's go. So number one is not meeting like-minded people and not meeting people in general to have a chat to when you get lonely when you're traveling solo. So, I mean, if you're staying in hostels and you're going out to sort of bars and sort of backpacker places, then you are definitely going to meet other people. You do not have to worry about that. If you're going solo traveling and you have like maybe a big budget and you're going to stay in hotels, then you're not going to meet as many people. The trick is you stay in a hostel to meet other people as well as getting a cheaper rate. But the main point of a hostel really is to meet other people. That is one of the main points, and it's so easy to do that there. I mean, you're walking into a room, say hello, and you're straight into conversation, meeting new people, having a great time. So that is something you really honestly don't need to worry about. Number two is a big one, and it's what plays on everyone's mind is running out of money. Now, this can happen. This happened to me when I was in Australia. Got down to about $100 in my bank account. I did have contingency plans in place. I did have an overdraft set up on my bank account which I could tap into. I had a credit card which I could use. You know, there's little things you can do like that that can help you out until you find a job, until you find some other means of making money. So just have that contingency plan in place, you know, to help you out. Don't go crying to your parents over the phone saying you've run out of money. I mean, it's your life you're living, it's your backpacker life. So if you start going running off to mummy and daddy asking them for a few $1,000s, then you're not doing it on your own, and you're never gonna feel like you're doing it on your own because you've always had that help. You've got to be the bigger person, be a man about it, and just, you know, go for it. And if you get into trouble, you get into trouble. If you have to come home, you have to come home. But you know, it'll make a bigger person out of you at the end of the day. Number three is family and friends back home. What happens if you lose one of them, or one of them gets tragically injured in an accident or something like this? And this is a big fear. This is a big fear for me, especially when I first started off. Like I've got a grandma and a granddad, and you know, what if something happened to them when I was away? And you kind of get to a point where you stop thinking about it, but it's always there in the back of your mind. And if something did happen, then I would make arrangements to go home. It is a very hard one, and it's probably one that a lot of people think about but not very many people talk about. And yeah, I don't know what to say on this because it's so difficult and it all depends on you as a person. It's a really tough one, that, but I think you've just got to go for it. You've just got to go out there and go traveling, and if something like that does happen, then sort of deal with it at the time. I don't know why it didn't work. For some reason I've lost number 4 and 5, so I'm in the park now. I'm not on the boat. I'll be back on the boat at number 6. Number 4 is leaving friends and family behind. So this is a big one. Like, you're gonna miss your friends and family, they're gonna miss you, but at the end of the day, if they have a problem with you going traveling, then it's their problem, it's not your problem. So all you can do is say goodbye, you know, make sure you keep in contact with them via any means possible, Facebook, Skype, you know, all them sort of things. And you know, at the end of the day, it's your life. So if you really want to go traveling, then go traveling. And you know, if that's going to put strain on a friendship, then it puts strain on a friendship. And if that friend can't deal with it, then unfortunately, then, you know, maybe they're not that good a friend. I don't know. I've got friends back home which, you know, I can go back home after 2 years of traveling and walk into the pub and it's like seeing them yesterday, you know. So yeah, I think that's a big one, that it's their problem, not yours. If you really want to go traveling, just go traveling. Number 5 is not being able to find work while abroad, while on a work and holiday visa. You know, I think anyone can find work. You just have to push yourself, you just have to keep looking. And if you can't find work, then unfortunately you're gonna have to move places, go look somewhere else, or you know, you gotta track it down. You've got to fight for it. You've got to be on the phones, you've got to be on the emails. You've just got to push and push. I know people in Sydney that I knew, and they were like, oh, I can't find work, and I'm like, well, what have you done? They were like, oh, well, I phoned 3 companies yesterday. And it's like, well, I was phoning like 60, 70 companies yesterday. So like, pull your finger out, you know, get it done, and you'll find a job. No matter what it is, recession, I don't care. I found work in a recession. You just have to look for it. That's honestly as simple as it is. Number 6 is losing your backpack. I mean, your backpack is your life when you're traveling, and every time I do stick it on a plane, I'm thinking, please come out the other side, please get on that plane. And yeah, I mean, losing your backpack is a big one. I think the best way to deal with this is have an extra bag with you on the plane or on a coach or whatever you're traveling on or wherever you are, and just keep a few things separate. You know, keep your important stuff as hand luggage, and then everything else can be replaced. But I mean, if I lost my laptop, I don't know what I'd do. I don't have enough money to buy another one at the minute, so it would be a struggle. It'd be doable, but it would be a struggle to sort that problem out. But I think just be careful with it. Don't be stupid. Don't leave it in stupid places. If you don't feel safe leaving it somewhere like in a hostel, sort of locker room, then don't leave it there. And at the end of the day, most people aren't going to want to steal your backpack, so just think of it kind of like that. Yes, I'm not on the boat anymore because something happened. I don't really know what happened. It just kind of deleted itself. I don't know. Number 7 is not enjoying traveling. Now, you might not enjoy traveling. You know, not everybody enjoys traveling. What I would say though is, for me and a lot of people I speak to, 3 months is like the marker. You know, you get over that 3-month hump and it just opens a door. It's like a magical door that just opens, and you see the light and you see that travel is now for you. Before that 3 months, you were like, oh, I miss home, I want to go back, and you know, and that is perfectly natural. That is perfectly fine. You miss everyone back home. You miss like your routine back home. And yeah, if you really want to give it a really good go, I would say the 3-month mark. That's what it is. So if you kind of feel like that is too long a period, then travel for less than that. Not everyone is going to be traveling the world for years and years. Some people just go traveling for a month here or there and do that every couple of years or every year, or just do big holidays and travel to new places, and that is perfectly fine. But if you are looking to do like a working holiday visa somewhere for like a year or 2 years, then I would say try and like combat those fears and don't book a flight back home until you have made it past the 3-month mark. Number 8 is getting stuck in a job in one place. Now, if you go traveling, you're more than likely to do a working holiday visa somewhere in some country that you can. And basically, what you don't want to do is get stuck in a job that you hate. Get a really shitty job and, you know, carry on looking for a better job. You don't want to be traveling the world and sort of doing the same stuff that you would have done back home, or even worse. You know, you go into Australia and you go into a farm, a fruit picking farm, and it is the worst job you've ever had, then just leave and do something else. Don't push yourself to do a job that you actually really hate, because it's just going to ruin your traveling trip. Number 9 is getting sick while traveling. Now, travel insurance is a really good thing for this, depending on how sick you actually get. I mean, if it's just like a cold, or, you know, you could just get food poisoning, then there's obviously things you can do, you know, rehydrate yourself, go to the doctors. It's not normally that expensive, whatever country you're from, just to go see a doctor. Obviously, big things, big issues, big medical bills, that is going to be an issue, and you're really going to want travel insurance for that. But I think a lot of people, if they had to have travel insurance for the whole time they were traveling, wouldn't be able to afford to go traveling. So You know, I've used travel insurance before. I don't use it all the time. I just use it in circumstances where I think I might need it for this month. I'm going to the Philippines, or I might need it for this month. I'm going somewhere a bit dodgy, something might happen. I think just use it wisely, pay for it wisely, and just look after yourself while traveling. Don't eat street food that's been out for ages or at the end of the night in the night markets. I have a little rule where I won't eat in restaurants where there's no one dining in there, because I think if it's a full restaurant, then, you know, it's got sort of, you know, it's got a bit about it. If it's just an empty restaurant, then maybe it'll get busy later on, but maybe it's like sort of empty for a reason, you know? Main thing is just look after yourself and just trust your instinct. And number 10 is saying goodbye to people that you've met while traveling. Now, this is a really hard thing to do, and it's a really horrible thing sometimes, because maybe you've been with a person for like so long, traveling with them, and then you kind of go your separate ways, and you kind of like get this feeling that you just don't want to be traveling anymore without them, and like you just feel really down in the dumps and like really nasty. So I think just take it on the chin, just do your best. It's going to be awful, but just think about the other people you're going to meet, and think about the times in the future where you're going to meet back up with that person in a different destination or somewhere along the road in the future, you know? People do that all the time. I've done it a lot, Ali's done it a lot, you know, we meet people and then further along the line we meet up with them again, and saying goodbyes is a hard thing, especially if you've had a relationship on the road and that person goes home. It's very difficult. So that's my top 10 travel fears, and it's time to leave the White Swan and go back onto dry land. So I'm here back on dry land, and if you've watched this video and you feel like you have a lot of fears and you're very nervous about solo travel, then I am here to help. Honestly, that's why I created this YouTube channel, to help fellow travelers with advice and tips, and that's why I created Backpack Yak, amazing travel forum to help everyone out, to bring like a community together. But sometimes that just isn't enough, and you can be doing so much research about your solo travel trip that your head is just exploding. Now, I've been there, I've done it. I've done over 4 years now of solo travel, 2 work and holiday visas, and I'm full of like a knowledge that you kind of only get once you've been traveling, I guess, but I know certain things, and it's just trying to tap into my brain. Well, now you have the chance to do that. I've set up these packages on Backpack Yak where basically you can have a chat with me, you know, you can tell me your travel fears, you can ask me your questions. I will be doing research for you as well, trying to help you find that perfect place to stay, or trying to help you book this boat trip that you've been trying to get from the Gili Islands. I don't know what it is, but I've set up these packages to help you with your travels, to settle those butterflies in your stomach. So if it sounds interesting to you, then click the link below, go check it out, then we can start planning your trip around the world. Thanks guys.